It's time for the greatest mobility exercise known to man. And you want to know something? It has literally nothing with like crazy sequences that you see where someone's doing some wild stuff. Yeah, I do some wild stuff sometimes, but that's because I'm really trying to crank up the dial. But when it comes to a mobility exercise that truly will make you world class, it's one, and it's a variation of a squat, all right? And I know you're like, Grommy, just spill it out. Just relax, bro. We got time in this video. But it's the Cossack squat. I think that's what it's called, right? Basically, they're just side lunges. But it's unbelievable how some of these exercises that you see people do, you know, and I sometimes will see these crazy sequences. I'm not saying they won't help you out, but they don't move the needle. I want you to think of working out as weighted stretching. If you think of it as weighted stretching, a lot of your mobility issues will probably start disappearing because mentally you'll be in a different mind frame, understanding like, oh, this is how I should be implementing the lift. This is how I should be doing this. This is how I should be doing that. Regardless of chest day, back day, leg day, doesn't matter. And I know it's a leg day video, and I've been doing a lot of these lately. You're probably thinking, Rami, we want the cool upper body ones. Don't worry, we're gonna have plenty. We always have plenty up the sleeve. You already know this, all right? But when it comes to mobility, a lot of times it comes down to our hips. That's what people would say whenever they say, like, I want better mobility. It's not that they're looking for flexibility, even though they think if I touch my toes, my back won't hurt, which is just ridiculous. But mobility is weighted stretching. If you think of it that way, obviously if it's weighted stretching, that means I can not only reach those ranges of motion and sink into those flexible positions, but I can explode from those flexible positions. It's about having explosive mobility. I want to be able to be in compromised positions with 315 on my back, maybe 405, maybe I'm pushing it. Who gives a shit, right? That's the point. That's what you're going for. You're going for the unreachable, but you'll eventually reach it. That's the craziest part. But anyways, you're here to hear me at. You're here to look at the best mobility exercise known to man. This is, in my opinion, the best. And it's just because like you have to think of it from all perspectives. People that are more advanced, beginner, doesn't really matter. If you're a beginner, you really don't need to do these as intensely as I'm going to show you, but we'll do the progressions, we'll do everything, because how you do them makes a world of a difference. You can have two cats hitting the bench press. One of them has a bigger chest than the other. Why? Because it comes down to the intangibles. Anyways, let's get to it. Let's go. Ah. All right, it's game time. I could probably go heavier on this realistically, but I'd rather just show you. All right, I don't got to show off. I don't got to show you guys, oh, look how much weight Uncle Rami can do. Screw that. We're here for the real sauce. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, let's get to it. So with these type of squats, you can start off like this. You can start off by wanting to kind of go like this. Doesn't really matter. But let's just start off spread out like this. I like to keep my toes decently forward. I know a lot of people tend to like to go this way, but you'll see why I prefer starting off in this position. And what I like to do in the beginning, if you're a beginner, this is where you live. I just want you to kind of go back and forth, just like that. You don't even need weight. You can just go back and forth, just like this. Boom. Boom. But then as you get better, what I want you to do, if you're comfortable, and it's a progression, it's no difference than the first day you bench press. You would never roll up to the gym, throw 315 on the bench, and try to press it by yourself. You just want to do it. Mobility is the same exact way. You have to ease yourself into it. But as you start getting deeper and deeper and deeper, this is what I want you to focus on. You're going to notice it. Okay, so my left hip's a little bit tight. I notice that my toes are coming up and my heels are up off the ground, which means my ankle mobility needs a little bit of work, right? But that's when I can start working on these things. I kind of sit over here. I'll play around in positions, adjust my body. I try to find friction and sit in the friction. Boom. That's what I mean by weighted stretching and exploding with that type of mobility. It's the same exact thing on the other side. Boom. Notice I kind of like lifting up my heel. Just kind of feel it out. Boom. All right, find friction. Hold. Explode. Then you're just going to go back and forth. But in the beginning, you might not be able to do this. Uncle Rami, it's too hard. Like I said, if this is where you live, this is where you live. But at least in your head, you're like, okay, that's tight. That's tight. All right, that's so hard. All right, let's go to the other side. Oh, this other side's a lot easier, which then tells me what? That I have mobility issues on my left side or right side. Doesn't matter. But that's what you're trying to find. And let's say you don't want to put a barbell on your back. Uncle Rami's here to save the day. Of course I have something up my sleeve. So what you could do is take dumbbells just like this. You can go super light. You don't have to go heavy. Put them up just like over here. Let them rest. Do the same exact thing. Boom. Back and forth. You can do the same exact thing, right? Feel it out. Okay. Whew. Okay, I felt it. Boom. All right, let's go to the other side. Oh, that notice that's a little bit, oh, that feels a lot better. Okay, boom. That's it. You can do them either way. But the goal is to meet the friction of where it's at and work that friction in. That's how you progress. It's no difference than strength training. Mobility trains the same exact way. And that's why I like to combine both elements, mobility and muscle growth and strength. Because if you can do all three, they all kind of coincide with one another if you do it correctly. That's why I think of it as weighted stretching. It's only going to make me that much stronger, that much more durable, that much more mobile. That way I'm not a stiff bodybuilder. We want to have it all. That's the goal. I want to be lethal in all of these areas, right? If you decide to go play a certain sport you really want to, you don't want to train your body to be stiff because then you're not going to have coordination to take over to that sport. Works the exact same way. Doesn't matter if it's fighting, basketball, football, soccer. There's a layer of coordination and mobility required, but if you're this stiff and you have to turn your entire body in order to see that way, it's different. You know what I mean? But the problem is the more you further those issues and don't take care of them, that's a real reality. But you're lucky you found this page. You know what I'm saying? All right. Boom. There you have it. The greatest mobility exercise you can start doing tomorrow. And I promise you, if you master that movement, you will have mobility that is better than easily 99% of weightlifters. And also puts you in a pretty special class of mobility. I'm not saying you're going to be in the 0.1% just from that exercise. But the point is most people's mobility is so bad you don't realize this, but it really is a game of just, you can bridge the gap versus you having a weird mobility sequence and implementing it from you doom scrolling on the internet. You could just work on that movement alone, and trust me, it'll transfer over to a lot of different lifts. Even your regular squat, front squatting, maybe not so much because there's shoulder mobility necessarily involved if you're doing the front squat correctly, but you're getting the point. It'll really loosen up your hips because you can directly take care of a lot of friction that's, oh, and maybe in my right hip, but not so much in my left, right? And on top of it, you also want to get to a point where your legs are fully out straight. It helps, and then you're exploding from those ranges of motion. That's only going to make you more durable, keep you inside the weight room, ability to unlock real power, not just weightlifting power. That's why I like working out this way. When you work out this way, it does carry over into anything else you want to do. Even the way you walk makes a difference. I swear to God, you can tell the difference between someone that has that walk that you're looking at like, oh, he looks comfy, you know? Feels good. Like you feel really, really good because you're walking from the right areas. You know what I mean? Like everything's engaged correctly. You're not front heavy. You're not too, oh my gosh, like you're not limping like this because you have a weird imbalance. It happens, man. That's the thing about weightlifting. It's super good for you, of course, but it's how we do it that really makes a world of a difference. And if we're going to do this thing long term, then we have to focus on some of these things. But anyways, I appreciate you watching this video and I hope this is well worth your time. If there's anything that you're looking for specifically, drop it down in the comments. And if people like those comments and I see it gets a bunch of thumbs up, I will make a video on it. As always, y'all, I love y'all very much. Uncle Rami out. Peace. Might have to double check this. Screw it, we're running with it. I can't. I gotta check.